Take like 17. I'm rusty at this. Okay. Welcome to my basement, everybody. Sorry it's been a while since I posted. Camera's been out of commission, but I've got it all working again, so we're good to start doing some videos again. The drum I'm about to show you and that you saw in the thumbnail, obviously I don't have any build video of it because the camera was down, but I'm going to show you the drum itself and then I'm going to try it out. The camera is my only microphone. I still don't have good microphones. And it's really directional, so I'll position the camera in a few different places so you can hear it based on where it's located. Maybe that'll give you a good idea of how it sounds. And here we go. Okay, so this is the drum. The buyer went with drum factory direct hardware, single point lugs, no flange hoop, of course, and the special claws. The strainer and the butt are Tama. He prefers Tama. He's a big Tama fan. This is 10 staves of long grain mango. So the grain is going around the circumference of the drum instead of vertical like is usually done. The other time I did horizontal grain, long grain around the circumference was with the Cadillac's drum. I'll put a link down below if you haven't seen that before. That drum was really hard to make. This one wasn't nearly as difficult to make because the wood's a lot more manageable. But the effect is also fairly dramatic. The buyer chose a piece of wood that has a really interesting bit of grain that goes all the way around. So what happened was we took the full board and book matched it. So had the dealer for the lumber cut it all the way down so we could open it up like a book. And then I use those pieces to go around the circumference like that, if that makes any sense. So this is where the board ended, obviously, but you can see how the grain runs all the way around otherwise. The buyer, this particular buyer, also prefers to have several air vents, small air vents without grommets, and so I do that. Normally, I do an incorporated re-ring, which is just, I don't know if that's what it's called, that's what I call it. But in this one, we did something that I've never tried before. Isolate the snares a little bit. Don't know how well you can see through the hazy reso head, but that is a different wood where the re-rings are. It's something called Brazilian ebony. And I'm guessing it's ebony in name only because it is a very yellow wood. There are a few black spots here and there, but it's very blonde. It's very, very hard, comparable hardness to the Cadillac's and other ebonies. Cadillac's isn't an ebony, but you get the idea. So I have top and bottom there of the Brazilian ebony against the mango. And that's also segmented with the long grain running around the circumference of the shell. The shell is about 1/4 inch thick. I don't have an exact measurement. I need calipers for that, as somebody pointed out the other day. The snare beds are an 1/8 inch deep, and they go pretty wide. They're from about lug to lug, about 3 inches, maybe a little bit more, and very gradually sloped. So I've got about 1.5 inches to 1 3/4 of 1/8 inch depth, all the way, flat, and then a gradual slope out to about 3.5 inches in total width on both sides. You probably can't see it here, but that was the idea. And then drilled the holes in the hoop and put it all together. Oh, and the finish. The same finish I usually do. Sand it to a high grit. This was sanded to 800. I didn't go any further than that because it's a really loose grain wood, and there was almost no difference between sanding at 400 and 800. So after I finished with 800, I oiled it, just Danish oil, natural color Danish oil. Then I waxed it with paste wax, polished it, buffed it the best I could. Relatively matte finish. But the wood has a beautiful natural luster to it. before I sign off, boy, the lighting is terrible today. It's kind of a dark and dreary day outside. Yeah, good enough. One more thing to show you, which is going to be the subject of the next video. And so, yeah. I finally got the custom lugs for this guy. That's them right there. I don't know if they're really lugs, it's really tension rod extensions. Because this is going to be a single tension drum. Got the hoops, heads. There's just a little bit left I have to do to make it so that the lugs or the tension rods, extenders, or whatever you want to call them, don't just spin when you're only tuning from one side. And so in the next video I'll show you that process. I've never done it before, so it's an experiment like most things are. But about 2 weeks ago, when those finally came in, I mocked up the whole thing and just heads, no snares, nothing else, just heads on it. And holy moly, that one sounds like a dream. I can't wait to show you that one. So that's what's coming up next. And I need to remake the top hoop on that, on the djembe, and there are other projects I need to work on, and I need to build a cajon for somebody. So lots of stuff coming, and thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.